PT on deck, and welcome back to the Forgotten City. Big spoiler warnings, we are looking at the end game of the Forgotten City, so forewarning now, we're gonna wrap up this game, hopefully, in this chapter that we're gonna go through. We already talked to Galerius, got everything set for him, and I feel like we should be able to knock out a good chunk, if not see the really best possible ending for this game. Hopefully? I just don't remember where we left off, because somehow we're here in the middle of everything. Just trying to relearn. Now it's just trying to remember how to play this game and what needs to be done. Okay, let's do that. Is he gonna say anything? Or did I just freeze?
Rufus. Better watch your step.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Sorted out my rheumatism. For the first time in a long time, I'm not in constant pain. Fine.
Alright. Sweet!
See you.
Okay, that's perfect that we got him sorted out for that. So I think we're gonna have to talk to these guys then, huh?
Hello there, friend. May I say? Are you well, stranger?
Who are you gonna vote for,
Send me, I
Decius?
suppose.
I'd like you to vote for
Yeah.
Galerius.
And what's he gonna...
Would a gift change your
Certainly.
mind?
Pleasure
here's
doing
3,000.
business. Very well.
Thank you. Okay, so we got 2 votes. Who else do we need here?
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to our little community. I hear
up,
we
Virgil?
have you to thank for saving Jul.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Definitely. He put an end to the notes and graffiti I've been receiving. All right.
Oh. Does he have enough votes then?
Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must...
I know, I look really different. I know, you wanna know where I'm from, but I really wanna ask you some questions.
My friend, your words intrigue me more and more. But yes, very well.
Who are you gonna vote for?
Did you know he saved the life of my young friend Fabia? The man is a hero.
Oh, let's talk about something else. I'll be
I
going
hope
now.
that
Okay, so that's 4.
That's quite an
Um, Can we get him to talk to
How
or
come
vote?
you're allowed a weapon and I'm not? What now?
Who are you gonna vote for?
I'm not going.
I'll be
Whatever.
going now.
Just remember, I'll be watching.
Nuts. So that's 4 votes, right? So we do have that other guy he saved. So they're probably all gonna vote for. You know what? Let's see if this works out.
A
Hopefully.
new face. Ave, and may Vesta
True to
watch
Kaisar.
over you. I'm Equity.
What's that of the election?
It'll be between...
Can we start the election now?
As I said, I'm planning to hold it before dusk.
Holding it may prevent conflict between the voters.
Yes, I have overheard some... Very well. Citizens, it is time. Let
Okay, I
us
really
meet
hope
to
I did this
elect
right.
our
So there's
magistrate.
4. We have 4 guarantees. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guarantees. So he's gonna win, right? He has to win. If not, I can just load up the save file and hopefully not botch that up again. Because I botched this up enough times already. Was this our 7th, 8th? I've lost track of how many times we had to loop. That walking animation looks really familiar. The more I look, this is based off of Skyrim, isn't it? Because I'm just now noticing these assets look pretty familiar. Just modeled a little differently. Well, not modeled, but retextured. What's the words? Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. We have 5. Six. Okay, so there is 6 men. Okay. Wait, would I get to vote? I want to vote.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and late nominee Gallus Galerius Helva. Marcus Malleolus Gurges withdrew his candidacy earlier today. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Galerius. He saved the life of my dear friend Fabia.
Dacius.
Galerius.
Virgil.
The man who put a stop to the threats I've been receiving. Galerius.
Ulpius.
Galerius, the man who saved my life.
Rufius.
The man who treated my rheumatism. Galerius.
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Gallus Galerius Helva.
What?
Hell yeah! Hail!
Undecided.
Hilarious.
Magistrate Galerius, would you like to make a brief address?
I just want to say, this isn't something I ever wanted. Now that you've put your trust in me, I'm going to do everything I can not to let you down. I'll need some time.
Okay, this seems like a point to save in case I screw this up. Big
Put
time.
together a list of the changes I want to make around here. But I promise you, there will be changes. My first order is that Dooley is to be freed. Horatius, release him from his cell immediately. Please. Wait, do I need to say please? I suppose not. That's it. You can all get on with your day. Nothing else to see here. Move along.
These aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along. Do I get to talk to him? Ooh, let me see if I can talk to him now. Aw. Aw.
Ave again. Did you find
True
what
to
you
Kaiser.
need?
You know, I'll be going now.
See you again soon, I hope.
Thank you, Ecuador. Thank you, Ecuador. Galerius, my man! Let me congratulate you. Galerius.
Fortune smiles on you today, Julius. Magistrate. Galerius here has ordered your release.
You're going to let me out of here?
I'm sorry it took so long, my friend. And it wouldn't have happened at all if it wasn't for a newcomer. So be sure to offer your thanks when you can.
I will. I will. Thank you, Galerius. I'm so happy.
I'd love to stay and chat, but I've got a lot of work ahead of me. Why don't you go to the baths? Then tell Georgius I said you could have some new clothes. Then I want you to go home and rest. I'll speak with you soon, Dooley.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Is it?
Hello? I'm Dooley. Magistrate Galerius said I should thank the newcomer. Are you the newcomer?
We met before, Dooley.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I didn't mean
I
it
don't
like
remember
that.
things
Oh,
so good.
I'm
but-
sorry, man.
Thank you. You're a big helper. I was locked up, but they let me out again. I'm so happy.
You're welcome, man.
You can have my shiny plaque if you want, and maybe you can help me find
thank you.
my treasure. My friend Hannibal used to look after me, and he said he always would, but then he died. But before that, he told me if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious.
What was it?
He gave me a key to the cisterns and told me to keep it safe. He said there's something very precious way up high. Please help me find it. Please. I had to keep it a secret until I found someone I could trust.
Oh, is this the key? Alright, I'll help you.
Thank you. Here's the key.
Oh.
Hope you find it. In the cisterns. Way up high, Hannibal said. Oh, look over there. Something shining. Is it treasure?
Is he gonna steal something? Oh, I better grab this now then.
I can see it from inside.
What does it say? I am writing you in relation to your correspondence social behavior arising from your session with an alleged lost treasure. Lines of things to your reply in the passing of your guardian Hannibal some weeks ago. Wish to impress you upon an important message. The treasure you seek does not exist. Given your memory limitations, it seems likely you simply misremembered. More importantly, you have...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, God.
God is responsible for this. Stop this.
Please stop. Oh, of course. Dooley did something. Damn it. Ah. Woo. Nearly got me there. There's a door. Is this the door though? Oh, money. That. Please don't block. Please don't block. Please don't block. Perfect. Run. Run. Get greedy and try to get more money. Just in case. This is just in case. This is just in case. If I die, though, that is on me. Steal that, because we know how bad she is. I think I have like 4 of her die, 4 copies of her die. Oh, 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 no, 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 body block. Okay, run. How does he have nothing? Oh, here we go again. Okay, so we have the key, so we have to talk to Galerius as soon as we get back. What else do we have to do? Galerius is gonna save everybody. Give him the money, etc., etc. And then from there, we just go for the cisterns, unlock the key, and deal with the plaques. Good thing I grabbed the plaque before Dooley did something, because that would have been so bad. Oh, and I'm bleeding. What a lovely time.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost?
I'm Joseph, and I need you to take care of some things urgently.
Oh, sounds serious.
Yulia's gonna die.
Poor
Vertius is hurting. Fabia is gonna die.
Alright, let me...
And Malleolus is actually has a bounty on him.
What?
That's it. Go.
I'll go, but once I'm done...
Where am I going now? I have to go to that point up there?
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the claws of...
Think I'm going the right way? I'm not going the right way. Where the hell am I? Do I go to the upper cistern? Or do I go to the point there? Wait, that's not the right way. I hear you. Unfortunately, I cannot help you right now. Ooh, excuse me. You're alive? Nice. Let's see here. Oh, the obelisk is right there. Don't want to see what this lead is. Yeah, let's complete this lead real quick. Heart of gold. I want to see what this treasure is before we put the plaques down, because we've done all this work. Might as well see it through. How do I get down there faster? Doesn't seem like a good idea.
Hey, you're not thinking about going into the cistern, are you?
Yes, why?
Nobody's told you about Hannibal? Ugh, why do I have to do everything round
That was
here?
Hannibal?
So, there was this guy called Hannibal, right? Funny accent. One day, a few weeks back, said he could hear spirits wailing. Of course, nobody believed. Anyway, a few days... So I go down after him, and hunched over him was a creature.
Wouldn't have broken the... what'd you do?
Well, any sane person would have done.
Hey, that was a great story. Bobby's still be
Whoa.
going down there. Oh, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. How do I whip out the bow? Nope. Aha! Okay, got the bow. This doesn't look golden. Aha! Golden! Oh, I stopped my shot.
Thank you.
Gracias en pace. Yeah. Can I get my missing bow? No? Arrow? Okay. Da-da-da-da. Please let me climb. Can't I climb that? There we go. Up. Okay. Please. Okay, hopefully the game doesn't crash again. It did last time. Okay, we're still good. We're still good. I hear you. I see you. I have to do something. Wait, what key is this for? Why can't I? Let me... Where the hell am I? Oh, am I in the back of the temple? I don't know where I'm supposed to go.
Salve, friend.
Huh. Who said that? Oh, I guess it's time for this. Boop. 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 Oh. They're looking at me? Oh, they are. Please stop staring at me. Oh, just loading the textures. Okay. Pluto? Plato? Pluto, father of riches, grant me an audience. Ooh, neat. Please don't look at me. Osiris, Lord of Silence, grant me an audience. Okay, fine. Hades, Lord of Many, grant me an audience. Oh, it's the theme. So Pluto, so this would be Osiris? This is Osiris? Fancy. Osiris, Lord of Silence, grant me an audience. Neat. And then what? Byzantine? Nurgle, the Fierce One, grant me an audience. Oh, that's bright. The hell? What the hell? Oh. What? Are we in Assassin's Creed now? Where the hell? Who? What? I have so many questions.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. As you have already gathered, I've been known by many names. Nergal to the Sumerians, Osiris to the Egyptians, Hades to the Greeks, and Pluto to the Romans. But the one constant through it all has been my title, God of the Underworld. And I've been watching you with curiosity, mortal, ever since your arrival. You are unlike the others, aren't you? And what is more, you carry a weapon that was never intended for mortals to wield, and you do it so brazenly. But there will be time for your reckoning later. First, as a reward for undoing the desecration of my obelisk, I will allow you to satisfy your curiosity. Ask what you will.
Where'd you get that outfit? I mean, what's your story?
My story is many thousands of years long. You will need to be more specific. What do you wish to know?
You're a god?
It is a matter of perspective. God is a label I was given by you mortals, not one I gave myself. Your ancestors revered me because to them, my knowledge and technology made me incomprehensibly powerful, just as you might seem so to an insect. But despite all that, there are rules even I must obey.
But why do you look and sound like a man?
My kin and I all adopted this form long ago, so that we might better understand and communicate with your kind. In time, we grew fond of the sensory delights it affords: desire, joy, ecstasy, even rage and sorrow, while an acquired taste can be addictive.
Yeah, that's fair. May I see your true form?
No. Long ago, I swore to Persephone that I would remain in this form for as long as we remained among your kind. I must honor that.
So who's the woman on your left?
This is my beloved. Like me, she has been known by many names. Ereshkigal to the Sumerians, Isis to the Egyptians, Persephone to the Greeks, and Proserpina to the Romans. Or perhaps you might know her as the goddess of springtime, the cycle of life and renewal. Your gaze lingers too long.
Sorry. Who's that on your right?
That is my servant. You would have met by the river, though she wears many faces and goes by many names.
Sharon.
Kumutubal to the Sumerians, Kirti to the Egyptians, Charon to the Greeks, and Charon to the Romans. Her role is to ferry souls between the mortal world and this one, and to make their transition as seamless as possible. For that, she earned herself the infamous, if erroneous, moniker, the Ferryman. You will talk more later. For now, ask your questions.
Can we talk about something
as
else?
You wish.
So, where am I?
It has come to be known simply as the Underworld, and it exists because of a wager I made long ago.
What was the wager?
That is a long story, one that began over 3,000 years ago and continues to this day. You see, long ago my kin and I set out from our home on Elysium to search for other forms of life among the stars. We discovered your planet, and witnessed your kind evolving from primates into something lawless and barbaric. You all but destroyed yourselves, your 2 short lives being extinguished by violence and ignorance and disease. Yet Proserpina saw raw potential in you, and persuaded the rest of us it would be squandered without our intervention and stewardship. So we revealed ourselves to your people in a place called Sumer. We offered guidance in agriculture, toolcraft, and law, and you called us gods. For a time you flourished, but soon you were too many for us to oversee. And as you spread from that cradle of civilization, we saw something disturbing. We had sown the seeds of dependency and confusion, and soon you returned to your old ways of violence and ignorance, this time in our name. My kin had seen enough, and gave up on your kind, condemning you as barbaric and chaotic, scarcely more than animals. We began preparations to return to Elysium, our home world, a utopia unspoilt by conflict and unimaginable in its beauty. But my Proserpina could not bear to abandon your kind without guidance, and knowing it would force the rest of us to leave her behind, she made an extraordinary sacrifice. She gave up her immortality to descend permanently to the ranks of humankind. And so she began her inescapable trajectory toward death. Horrified, I acted swiftly. I placed her in suspended animation in a deep frozen sleep to prevent age and sickness from claiming her. And then I pleaded with Proserpina's father, who the Romans called Jupiter, to bring her with us to Elysium. It was and is my hope that once there, we might one day learn to undo what she has done to herself. But he refused. I did everything I could to persuade him, but he would not relent. He would rigidly uphold his final pronouncement. Humans were unworthy of ascension to Elysium, and no exceptions would be made. But seeing that I was aggrieved, he proposed a wager, the terms of which were as follows. If even one human city could prove itself capable of living without sin for a single year, then Proserpina and all of humanity would be permitted to join us in Elysium. My part would be to remain behind, the last of my kind, to watch over you without interfering, and to sit in silent judgment. And so my reward has been to languish here, enduring a 3,000-year winter, waiting for the day your kind proves itself worthy of her faith in you, so that I might take her with me to Elysium and unthaw my goddess of springtime. And here I am, after all this time, still waiting.
So, are you aliens?
There were also gods who, like me, have been known by many names, but perhaps you knew them by their Roman names. Our leader, Jupiter, as well as Neptune, Saturn, Juno, Minerva, Mars, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Vulcan, Vesta, Ceres, and of course, my beloved Proserpina.
Who built the city?
As the first wave of your kind arrived from Sumer, I had them build a city in their own fashion, so that they might be comfortable and recreate their lives here. I had them build the entrance as a vertical shaft leading to baths to cleanse them of the sins of their former lives and to prevent escape. I watched wave after wave of Sumerians arrive, and as their civilization declined over the centuries, they were replaced by Egyptians. Of course, believing themselves to be the superior civilization, the Egyptians promptly built over what had been built before, and made all the same mistakes. After another 1,000 years, the Greeks began to arrive, and then the Romans, and they all did the same thing. They built upon the underworlds of their predecessors, renamed their gods, and ensured their foundations were forgotten.
How did you decide who comes here?
To ensure the wager was fair, It was important that my subjects were chosen at random. To this end, I had my servant distribute 1,000 tokens fashioned from silver, a rare element at the time, across all of Sumer. Whoever died while in possession of one of them would be located by my servant and ferried to this place, with no memory of how they arrived. As the tokens were discovered, they were traded, smelted, and fashioned into trinkets, and eventually coins, spreading to Egypt like seeds on the wind. Later, when they spread to Greece, they would come to be known as Charon's obol, or as coins for the ferryman. Some placed coins in the mouths of their dead, hoping they would awaken here, though they had no way of knowing which coins were fashioned from the original tokens. In fact, almost all of the tokens are accounted for. Only 2 remain. And so after this wave destroys itself, as it is destined to do, your kind will have squandered the last of its potential to ascend beyond this rock, and Proserpines along with it.
How did humans learn about the underworld?
It is a regrettable story. One of the first men who came to this place was a king of Sumer and a troublemaker. To be rid of him, I returned him to his people, on the condition that my servant erased his memories of this place. But the erasure did not take completely, and he told stories of this place as if describing memories of a dream. His tales were committed to writing, which came to be known as the Epic of Gilgamesh, and his words were twisted and distorted over generations. Later, the Egyptians would adapt Sumer's stories of the underworld, making them wildly intricate and labyrinthine. Their Book of the Dead and Book of Gates bore less and less resemblance to this place in their priests' pursuit of profit. Then, when the Greeks began to arrive, they proved far more cunning, and in a series of incidents that will not be repeated, 5 of them escaped. A warrior named Heracles, 2 kings named Sisyphus and Theseus, a poet named Orpheus, and a Trojan named Aeneas. They each told embellished tales of this place, how to get here, and how to escape. And so from Sumer to Egypt, Greece to Rome, your kind has always told each other stories about this place, though each story contained only a seed of truth.
Let's talk about something
Of course.
else. Are you responsible for the golden
That
bowl?
is merely the name your people have given to it, but yes, it is my doing.
Why turn people into gold?
That is a story dating back to the very first wave. After the Sumerians finished building their city, the self-declared ruler threw a banquet to celebrate. Now this man was unmarried, and many women were vying to become his wife, a prestigious position of power and influence in a new world. Of all the women, 2 were particularly ambitious. Both were beautiful, and both arrived at the banquet wearing eye-catching dresses and painted faces, their hair woven in elaborate fashion. The first woman, recognizing that she would require an advantage to win the ruler's affection, draped herself in jewelry, ornate necklaces, bracelets, and rings fashioned from gold. Seeing this ostentatious display, the second woman grew envious, for she had no such jewelry at her disposal. She prayed aloud to any gods that would listen to cover her in gold, and when her prayer went unanswered, she took matters into her own hands. While the others indulged at the banquet, the second woman summoned the first for a discussion in a quiet place. She checked that nobody was watching and pushed her rival from the top of the ziggurat, where she broke her neck on the rocks below. But I was watching, and I decided to answer her prayer. I took the golden bow left behind by Diana, and I shot that woman in the heart, covering her from head to toe in a layer of molten gold. And I left her to stand there, that she might serve as a grim reminder of what befalls those who sin in my domain. But that was not enough, for the entire city was tainted by her sin, and the wager could no longer be won. So I had no choice but to wipe the slate clean. I gilded them all to make way for a new wave, and began the wager again. And to this day, each of them, and all who came after, line the halls of this city, inanimate but conscious, suspended in time with only their sight and hearing preserved, so they may bear witness to and lament the folly of your kind for eternity, as silent golden sentinels.
So where did these golden bows come
When
from?
my kin departed, they left behind many relics which I inherited. A consolation prize of sorts. The golden bow originally belonged to one of my kin, who the Romans called Diana. As my collection of golden statues grew, I chose the most ferocious among them, and equipped them each with a duplicate of her bow, and tasked them with hunting down the Forsaken at my behest. They became known simply as Furies.
So what do you consider a sin?
I've always considered that the cornerstone of morality is the ability to determine right from wrong on one's own. No attempt to lay out rules like your Code of Hammurabi or your 12 Tables of the Roman Republic can ever cover all possible scenarios. This should come as no surprise to you, since the core principle has been expressed in many forms by many of your civilizations. The Egyptians made a rudimentary attempt with do to the doer to make him do. The Greeks refined it with avoid doing what you would blame others for doing. The Roman Stoics added, treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Even the so-called cultists hiding among you often say, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the simplest of concepts, and each one of you is born with the faculties required to apply it to any situation. Yet none of the peoples who expressed this rule were able to uphold it. Curious, is it not?
That principle's not as easy to apply as it sounds.
For you, perhaps.
So how do you know when people sin?
I'm able to commune with all of the statues in the city. Their ears are my ears, and their eyes are my eyes.
Well, I can't ask anything else. Shoot. Is Prosperina connected to the statues in the same way?
If she was still conscious, I suppose she could, but she's not. Why do you ask?
No reason.
And what an odd question.
I've seen some terrible things here that you didn't consider a sin. How could you let that
Do
happen?
you plan to speak in sweeping generalizations, or are you going to give me an example? Abduction? You mean the magistrate imprisoning his daughter in the cistern, I take it. He did so because she sought to escape, a sin I take particularly seriously. Better that he stops her from escaping, albeit brutishly, than I have to wipe out this entire city to punish her. Wouldn't you agree?
That's... You know what, fair enough.
Now tell me, what other sins do you believe I have overlooked?
Experiments in the golden
The
statues.
midwife in the palace, yes. How is that inconsistent with the rule?
She wouldn't want to be experimented upon if she was gilded.
The rule is do unto others, meaning other people. Those statues are something else now. Bloodless shadows, mere shapes of their former selves. They are forsaken. What happens to them is no concern of mine.
That seems like an extremely literal interpretation.
Applying this rule always requires us to interpret the meaning of the words. A literal interpretation helps to minimize the ambiguities of your primitive language.
If our language is full of ambiguity, doesn't that make the rule inherently subjective and unreliable?
Supposing you're right, then my law has been broken, and I should turn you all to gold immediately. Is that what you want?
You're right, my law is broken. I'm right and you know it.
Then your desire to be right outweighs your desire to survive. You
I
will
just
make a
screw up.
fine statue.
Okay.
Do you really think you can wound me, a god, with that primitive weapon?
Oh, no.
How dare
Maybe
you
mortal, but your
threaten
beloved
her?
isn't.
This ends now. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, I just killed her. Okay, now what? What am I supposed to do? How do I rewind time? What the hell? Oh god. Are these statues moving or am I just losing my damn mind? That one's moving. Zigzag. What is it like? Yay! Okay, now I get why there's a zip line. Oh crap. Zipline this. Thank you. Now I get why they have zip lines all over the dang place. Okay, so now... Do you even have to tell Galerius to do all that stuff, or can I just leave him alone and go straight to Pluto? Because I feel like I could just go straight to Pluto now and just get the... I guess we're gonna see the ultimate ending. Best ending? Good ending. True ending? However you want to phrase that. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Here you go. Go do all these things. Yep. Go. He asked the philosopher for help here. Where was the philosopher?
I love.
No, it's not. Where's my inventory?
Your clothes.
Let's go to that underground. Oh, I remember where it is now. It's in Prosperina Shrine. Right?
The
Here, excuse me.
melodies fetch again.
49 bellets? I feel like I should know the lore, Greek and Roman mythology, but I don't know jack.
You know I was headed in there.
Excuse me. So we head to the philosopher. I'm going the right way. And let's see here.
Welcome, welcome.
May I ask your name?
We've had this conversation before. You're gonna explain the exertion of power required to create utopia while always on tyranny.
I wasn't...
Look, I'm calling a time loop.
That's...
How would you persuade the god of the underworld to abolish the golden
I
rule?
assume you're asking me this as some kind of amusing hypothetical?
No, I met him, but I wasn't able to persuade him. I'm gonna try again.
Extraordinary. Then let me see if I can help you. I suppose first I'd want to gather information. I'd want to know about his reasons for imposing the golden rule and what he considers a sin. If I could expose some internal inconsistency in his reasoning, some degree of hypocrisy, I might be able to compel him to change his position. But as a philosopher, the saddest truth I ever learned is that all but the most enlightened opponents are more easily swayed by appeals to emotion than by reason. So the easiest path would be to find his emotional susceptibility and exploit it. If he was vain, I might try to flatter him. If he was merciful, I would try to evoke pity. As a last resort, I might figure out what he fears losing above all else, and, if I could, threaten to take it away. Though, of course, that could easily go awry. Now, go quickly while my words are still fresh in your memory.
Wait, I don't... That didn't help me at all.
Good to see you again. Excellent.
Yeah.
So the
Run
easiest
area.
path would be to find his emotional susceptibility and exploit it.
Vain.
If he was vain, as a last
Merciful.
resort, I might... Now,
Okay. You know what? I should probably save before I discuss with Pluto to try. In case I just botch this all up so we don't have to go through that whole cycle again. Unless there's something else I need to grab prior to... Or I have to go through the loop again and talk to him again. The hell? Oh. Okay, gonna save before we talk to Pluto. Here we go.
citizen.
I wish there was like, can I zip line up or is it only down? It's only down, because that makes sense. Where to go? Okay, we have... Oh, they're already there. Do I have to whisper again? Oh, of course it loads. Pluto. Hades. I do kind of like that theme of like each portion is a segment they knew him as. That's actually a really nice little touch there. And Nurgle. Assassin's Creed Land. And we shall save here. In case I muck this up again. Are we in a spaceship? I can't seem to throw myself off the ledge here. It's probably good. Can I talk to... Nope.
And here you are. Allow me to introduce myself. No, but the one and what is that they will first.
You know what? See this? It's her crown.
I would recognize that anywhere. And yet my beloved still wears hers. What is this? How did you come by it?
I took it from her after I killed her in another timeline.
You vile, despicable creature. Why would you do such a thing? And worse still, boast about it.
I didn't want to kill her, but if you don't put an end to the golden rule, I'll do it again.
You have put me in an impossible position. If I refuse, you will murder her. And yet, if I agree, I will lose my wager and return to Elysium humiliated and alone.
Well, what's it gonna be?
I do not see that I have a choice in this. Your treachery and savagery have opened my eyes like nothing I have witnessed in 3,000 years. And now you have shown me your species' true colors. And I see that Proserpina was a fool to have ever believed in you at all. This has gone on too long. It is time for me to let go of this form, of her, of all of you. But know this. If I abandon the wager and leave for Elysium, neither she nor your kind may ever ascend.
Why can't we go to Elysium?
Because despicable creatures like you have no place there. My kin would never allow it. The best I can do is return you to the land of the living. I will have Charon make arrangements to ferry the others. But as for you, be aware you will be separated from the rest.
Why?
Once this exodus begins, the events that brought you to this moment will never have taken place, and you will have created a paradox. What will become of you is difficult to predict, but that is the risk you have taken by interfering in the natural flow of time. Now, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You had best pray our paths never cross again, mortal.
I feel like I've won, but at the same time I feel like I just taken a big loss for humanity there. This doesn't look good.
Oh! Hi there. Gave me a bit of a fright. Thought I was in here alone. I'm Al.
Allworth? I came in here to find
Well,
you.
here I am. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Joseph. I was hoping you know who I am.
Know who you are? I barely remember how I got here myself. Oh, did that lady in the forest send you in here after me? I guess I lost track of time, learning about the history of this place, and it is extraordinary. I'm fairly certain you and I are the first people to set foot in this city for about 2,000 years. Fortunately for us, the last person in here was a Roman man named Galerius, who inscribed an account into a tablet. Apparently, there was a community of 20-something people trapped in here, and living in fear of a curse they called the Golden Rule. They believed that if even one person sinned, an unknown god would cast them all into gold, like the 1,000 people who'd lived here before them. Then, one day, just as Galerius had finished praying for a good harvest at the shrine of Proserpina, an oracle appeared and told him how to solve the ills of the city, like saving the life of a dying woman, preventing the suicide of a man in debt bondage, freeing a falsely accused prisoner, foiling an assassination attempt, and so on. Meanwhile, the oracle walked up to the temple of the mysterious god, this one right here, and demanded an audience. And the doors just opened up to him. Nobody knows what went on in there, but Galerius wrote the oracle must have been more persuasive than Odysseus, because the next thing he knew, the ground shook and the voice of that god rang out over the city. The many have suffered long enough. Unfortunately, Galerius' account just sort of stops after that, leaving a lot of questions unanswered. What became of him and the other people who lived here? What happened to all the golden statues? And did this mysterious oracle single-handedly undo the curse that had terrorized people for hundreds of years?
Actually, that was me.
What? Oh, I see. For a moment there, I thought you were serious. Anyway, I think I found a way out through the aqueduct that brought water into the city. Follow me.
I'm right behind you. Something doesn't feel right. And that's bothering me so much. Oh, I don't have my bow.
I'm gonna pause here for a moment and make sure nobody else has ever lured into this temple.
Where'd you get that wood and nails?
You go on ahead. I'll be there soon.
This doesn't feel right. Something feels very wrong.
You're back! But you're alone. Does that mean you didn't find Al?
I found him. I'll be here in a moment.
Oh, what a relief. Thank you so much. I was beginning to think you'd both become trapped in there. Why don't you tell me what you discovered while we wait?
I discovered you're not who you said you were. I remember meeting you 2,000 years ago.
Ah, I see. I thought you might. Well,
Not expecting that.
now you know. I suppose you have questions.
Who are you, really?
You can just call me Charon, if you like. I am sorry I was not completely honest with you when we first met. I do not enjoy deceiving people. Believe me, I do not. But I have learned, from 5,000 years of experience, that most people find comfort in familiarity, in gradual change, and coming to see the truth in their own time.
What truth is that?
That you died, of course. You were dead when I brought you here. My role, as the servant of the god of the underworld, has always been to assist the chosen to cross the threshold from the land of the living to the land of the dead.
So, how did I die?
Usually, when people do not remember how they died, it is because they suffered a terrible trauma. Most souls would rather not remember. Ask yourself honestly, do you really want to know?
Yeah, I want to know.
As you wish. You were murdered. You made a purchase in a marketplace, and the change you received was, by mistake, a single silver coin of ancient origin. You were seen inspecting it, and soon after, you were set upon by 2 thieves. The shopkeeper who had given you the coin saw the scuffle break out and leapt to your aid. You both fought bravely, but your assailants were armed, and you were not. There was nothing you or your ally could have done. He died instantly at the scene, and you followed a few hours later. That man's name was Al Worth. You were each in possession of a sacred coin, called Charon's Opal by some, and so it was my duty to bring you here.
Pluto said the coins Alan and I had were the lost in existence. What does that mean for you?
It means I am now bereft of purpose. There is nobody else to ferry here, nobody to keep you company. After 5,000 years, the underworld has finally run its course.
What's so special about these coins?
Perhaps you have heard the tales of the Greeks and Romans burying their dead with a coin in their mouths to pay the ferryman for passage across the river. Well, those stories contained a seed of truth, but not any coin would do. A long time ago, my master created 1,000 silver coins and had me distribute them across the world. My orders were simple. Whenever a person died in possession of a coin, I was to locate them and ferry them here.
Yes, Pluto mentioned that my coin was lost in existence. So what does that mean for you?
There is no...
Can you return us to the land of the living now?
I see no point in keeping you here. But I have to ask one thing. That you keep this to yourself.
Look! Here comes Al now. Al! It's so good to see you. You were gone so long I thought I'd never see you again.
Kinda lost track of time in there. You wouldn't believe what we found. The ruins of a long-forgotten city. And there was a tablet describing an oracle who confronted a god and undid an ancient curse.
Sounds like quite a story. And I look forward to hearing all about it. But you two look exhausted. Why don't you hop in my boat and rest while I ferry you back to civilization?
Sounds good to me.
And you? Are you ready to go home?
Alright, Chick Karen. Ferry's home. Where the hell? Whoa.
Hey,
Virgil?
you made it. It's great to see you again.
No, it's
After
not.
everything you've been through, I thought you might appreciate some good news. So after we got back to the real world, I started doing some research into the people mentioned in Galerius' tablet, and I found something strange. I'm sorry I've been so cryptic. I've been dying to tell you, I just really wanted you to see this for yourself. Why don't you head on down there? I'll catch up with you at the other end.
Where am I? Galerius?
You're finally here. Remember me?
No way! Galerius, what are you doing
It's a
here?
crazy story. After you disappeared, Karen appeared and told us she was returning us to the world. Even gave us some coins to help us start our lives over. Only, for some reason, she returned us to your world instead of ours. Anyway, I know we only ever had that one conversation, and I wasn't even sure if you'd remember me, but I wanted to say thanks for freeing us from the underworld and giving us a second chance at life.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I used Karen's gift to buy a farm in Umbria. Got a villa on it too, with enough room for Dooley, of course. It's hard work, but I sleep soundly every night. I'm finally my own man, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
You're with Equita now?
I know! I can't believe my luck either. But we're engaged and living together.
Oh my god!
We're planning to get married next spring. If you're gonna be around, we'd love to see you there.
Send that invite. I'd love that. Count me in, man. It was good to see you again, Galerius.
There's a whole museum full of people waiting for a chance to thank you, so you better keep moving. We'll speak again soon, my friend.
Oh my god. I did save them.
Oh, hello.
Equita?
You're here. It's lovely to finally meet you. Galerius told me all about you.
Good to see you too, Equita.
So, you're the hero who somehow vanquished the last of the Roman gods. As I'm a priestess, you realize you've put me out of work. I'm just teasing. Actually, and it still feels a little sacrilegious to say this, I'm finding life after religion quite enjoyable.
Oh, what are you doing with yourself these days?
Galerius and I are engaged and expecting. We've just bought a lovely villa in the countryside with room for a large family, and Dooley too, of course. It feels like the world has just opened up for us. There's so much to learn, and so many more possibilities for our children than we ever imagined. We're just so thankful for what you did for us, for all of us.
How's Livia?
Oh, it's sweet of you to ask. She recovered nicely. In fact, she's here somewhere, if you'd like to ask her yourself.
I'll do that. There. Thanks. It was good to see you again,
See
Equita.
you at the wedding, I hope.
Send the invite. Dooley!
Hello, I'm Dooley.
Oh, I remember who you are, Dooley.
Galerius said you're very nice and a big helper. Thank you for getting us out of the bad place. I didn't like it.
So what are you doing with yourself these
I
days,
live
man?
at Galerius and Equitia's house. They look
Oh,
after
that's how you say your
me
name.
now and help me remember when I forget things, like brushing my teeth.
I'm sorry you never found your treasure, man.
Treasure? Oh, I forgot about that. I like my box now. Galerius got me a box that tells stories. It's my favourite thing.
I'm glad you're happy. It was good to see you again, Dooley. Is this Yulia? Oh my god.
You're the Oracle, right?
Joseph is fine.
Of course, sorry. And I never got a chance to thank you for telling Galerius how to save my life. And of course, getting me and all of us out of a terrible situation.
What are you doing with yourself these
Oh,
days?
I barely recognize myself. I'm living in a house share in London with my wonderful girlfriend. And I'm studying English at university. Eventually, I want to travel the world and write about it. Turns out, it's about 30 times bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Did you know there are entire continents Rome never knew existed? And you can travel almost anywhere in an aircraft, which is rather like flying on a Pegasus, but much more comfortable. Oh, sorry, you already know all that, of course. I'm just so excited. There's so much to see and learn and write about.
Oh my god. Seeing the world through fresh eyes sounds wonderful.
I have noticed people from your time have no idea how fortunate they are. I hope to change that. One day.
Hopefully. Whatever happened to Malleolus and Claudia?
Last I heard, Malleolus kept insisting he was the last rightful ruler of the Roman Empire, and wound up being committed to a psychiatric hospital. As for Claudia, she was always so viciously unhappy. Someone said she'd blown all her money on wine, trying to drink herself back to the underworld. After the horrific way they treated Ulpius and me, I can't help feeling a sense of... what's that German word? Schadenfreude?
You know what? I think you're allowed to feel that way.
Thank you. You're very kind.
Whatever happened to Aurelia?
Someone told me she was boasting about getting her claws into some rich prince, and how she was going to be living the high life from now on. Even in your time, life still isn't fair. Apparently, he'd proposed before they'd even met. And last I heard, she'd bought herself a first-class one-way ticket to join him in some exotic place called... what was it? Nigeria? Some people have all the luck.
Don't worry. Something tells me she's going to get what she's deserved. You know what? As the Oracle, I foresee terrible disappointment in her future.
Really? Huh. I feel better already. Thank you.
It's good to see you again, Yulia.
You too. If you're ever in London, let me know. We can go to bars and drink wine and listen to the stories of the 9 million people who live there.
I'll take you up on that.
I hope so.
I'm gonna die at the end of this, aren't I? Who's the soldier?
Hey.
What?
Hi there, I'm Horatius.
Hey, Horatius.
I understand we have you to thank for giving us a second chance at life, and reuniting Scintilla with us as well. So, thank you.
What are you doing what are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living up north and studying in the military academy in Modena. I'm going to be an officer one day. The world's changed a lot, but some things stay the same. Would you believe we're still studying military tactics from my time? Alexander the Great, Caesar, Hannibal Barca. Still, I have to keep challenging myself to let go of old ways of thinking and embrace the new. As Seneca wrote, the ones who pioneered our paths aren't our masters, but our guides.
It's actually very insightful, man. Yeah, I'm sorry you never got to see your girl again.
You remembered that. Thank you. I grieved for a time, but that's done. In the words of Epictetus, as those who rode behind triumphant generals remind them they are mortal, remind yourself your precious one isn't one of your possessions, but something given for now, not forever.
Well said.
Thanks.
Whatever happened to your buddy Domitius?
He's not my... Oh, I see what you did there. Good one. He had more trouble adapting than most. He got himself disqualified from the UFC, so he started some kind of underground blood sport tournament, like we had in Rome. Suppose it appealed to people's baser instincts. And they say he made some good coin, killing a bunch of men like that. But his luck finally ran out, and his life along with it. You know what they say. Live by the sword, die by the sword.
That's a shame.
Perhaps.
Damn, dude. It was good to see you again, Horatius.
And you. Farewell.
I'm sorry if I'm zigzagging. Lucretia?
You
Oh
are
my
here.
god.
It's nice to finally meet you.
Hey, Lucretia!
Lucy is fine. I'm making an effort to blend in, as you can see. We are all trying to keep a low profile. If the world knew we died 2,000 years ago and were suddenly brought back to life 12 months ago, they'd never leave us alone. Speaking of which, I wanted to say thank you in person. I'd say the gods smile on you, but I hear you drove the last of them off. So...
What are you doing with yourself these days, Lucy?
I'm studying to get into medical school. As much as I resented the responsibility of keeping everyone in the city alive, when it ended, I realized I missed it. So I guess I'll just keep saving the world, if begrudgingly, one patient at a time.
It was good to see you, Lucy.
You too. Don't be a stranger.
Oh, this is
Hey.
such a good win. Is that his gear? Wait a minute, and is that the dog? No, who's that? Let's just talk. Let's keep. Oh my god.
I
Cynthia.
take it you're the Oracle. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you again, Cynthia.
Actually, I changed my name to Cynthia. I didn't want to be associated with Sentius after what happened. I'm not sure if you heard, but after you drove Pluto off, Proserpina emerged from the Great Temple. She knew right away what none of us had figured out about that psychopath. He'd been keeping my little sister locked up in the upper cistern all that time. But he's been dealt with. He's... you know what? The important thing is, we'll never see him again.
What are you doing with yourself these
Anything
days?
I want. I'm a woman of means in a vast new world. I can go wherever and do whatever I please. Of course, I mostly just stay in my villa and have my servant Alexa summon things for me, because it's just awful out there. Barbarians everywhere.
What? What happened to Sentius?
He's still there, all alone. The last golden statue in the underworld. Trapped in a metal shell, slowly losing his mind until the end of time. Eternal torment. Just what he deserves, if you ask me.
He did once tell me he wanted to live forever.
Then I suppose he got his wish.
It's good to see you again, Cynthia.
You too. See you around.
No way! Oh, who do I... Oh. The Velocity... No way!
And here you are. It's wonderful to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Oh, and by the way, I go by Philip now. A fine Greek name. I never thought I'd leave that cave, let alone the city. And now I'm living in the 21st century. What a time to be alive. And it seems I have your catabasis to thank for it.
What? What are you doing with yourself these
I'm
days?
working as a consultant to the Faculty of Classics at Cambridge University, helping fill the odd gap in their knowledge. Not that I need the money, but I do love being around enlightened minds again.
Do you still think Utopia's out of reach?
Aha! You remember that? I have to admit, I have been profoundly impressed by the advances humans have made these past 2 millennia. The sum total of human knowledge available at our fingertips, miraculous modern medicines, and a series of prosperous democracies. Your contemporaries have come further toward utopia than I ever thought possible, though there's still a way to go.
We'll get there one day.
I hope so.
It's good to see you again, Philip.
My sincere thanks once again.
Georgius! No, is he going by George now?
Greetings. You must be the legendary Oracle. It is a sincere privilege to finally make your acquaintance. I am Georgius.
Good to see you too,
I
Georgius.
am told we have you to thank for freeing us from Hades, and for that, I am most grateful.
What are you doing with yourself
I
these
am
days?
reacquainting myself with Greece. It has changed so much over the last 2,000 years, I barely recognize it. This is at once heartbreaking and thrilling. Perhaps one day, once I have seen all of this new Greece and sampled her delights, I will settle down in Santorini in a villa overlooking the Azure Aegean Sea. I hope you will join me there and regale me with the story of how you faced off against the fearsome god of the underworld and won.
Consider me there. It was good to see you again,
You
Georgius.
too, my friend.
Who said hello? What? Fabia?
You're the one we've been waiting for. I'm Fabia.
Fabia, sorry. Hi,
I
Fabia.
wanted to say thanks for sending Galerius to save my life. I don't know how you knew, but I would have been crushed by that shrine for sure.
You're welcome.
I'm just so happy to be here with you and everyone together again, even if it's just for one more night.
What are you doing with yourself? Wait, one more night. What are you doing with yourself these days?
Not like I have to work with all the silver Charon gave me, so I just do what makes me happy. Mostly that means baking for my friends and looking at memes while binging TV shows in yoga pants. What a time to be alive.
Nice. I'm glad you're happy.
Thank you. I really am.
It was good to see you again, Fabia.
You too.
Who the hell?
Soiree, innit?
What?
Oh, hello at last. You must be the Oracle I've heard so much about. I'm Dacius.
Hi,
Listen,
Decius.
I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for what you did. If it wasn't for you, I'd never been able to sell all those useless old relics I accumulated. Whatever you did in that temple made me a very wealthy man. Thank you.
You're
Most
welcome.
gracious of you.
What are you doing with yourself these
I
days?
took the money I made from selling my trinkets and started investing in the stock market. That's where the real money is now. In fact, I was hoping to ask your advice, you being the Oracle and Future Seer and all that, on which stocks I should invest in next. I can't decide between fossil fuels, tobacco, gambling and arms. What would you recommend?
I can't really see the future, I'm afraid.
Oh, don't be like that. You can tell your old pal Dacius. I won't take no for an answer.
You know what? Print Media's gonna make a huge comeback.
Oh, of course, yeah. I was just thinking the same thing. I'll go home and buy up as much stock as I can tonight. I'm gonna make a bloody fortune.
I'll be going now.
Don't let me keep you. Thanks again for the tips, my friend.
I feel a little bad about that, but at the same time, I don't.
Good evening.
Tavia?
Oh, hello.
I
It's
don't-
lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about you.
Nice to see you too. Who was she again? Nice to see you too, Octavia.
I'm thankful that you're here. I was sure the person who drove off the last pagan god would have more important things to do than visit the likes of us. But thank you for coming and for saving our lives. What you did was extraordinary, and I'll never forget it.
What are you doing with yourself
I'm
these
living
days?
in Rome again, in a charming little flat by the Tiber. not far from my old place. Oh, and I'm training to be a crisis counselor. After you sent Galerius to persuade Ulpius not to take his own life, I was inspired. I just want to spend the rest of my life
that's
helping
who you were.
people, like you helped him.
That, you know what? Sounds like a noble cause. That's good on you.
Thank you. That means a lot.
It was good to see you again, Octavia.
And you. Oh, and I hope this isn't too forward, but some of us are going out for a drink after this, if you'd like to join us.
Sounds good. I'm in.
Wonderful. I'll see you soon.
Livia?
Greetings.
Good to see you looking well, Livia.
Thank you for your kind words and for liberating us all. In all the time I was in the underworld, I never once imagined that I might end up in a place so much like Elysium.
What? Wait, how do you know what that is? What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm recovering. Octavia was kind enough to let me stay with her for a while, at least until I'm well enough to be independent again.
Read any good poems lately?
Ah, you remember that. I'm a little tired of Ovid, but that's all right. I have 2,000 years worth of poetry to catch up on now. I'm already up to the 19th century, and am quite enjoying the work of a fellow named Poe. I think I may have found a kindred spirit. Men have called me mad, but the question is not yet settled whether madness is or is not the loftiest intelligence.
Well said. It was good to see you again, Livia.
And you. Farewell, friend.
Is that everybody? No, there's oh my gosh. Is this? No way, he made it?
It is an honor to finally meet you, Oracle.
You made it? Thanks, Kabosh.
You know my name? Oh, of course. You are an Oracle.
No,
you know
no,
many things. I too would like to offer my thanks for releasing us from that place and for your role in bringing us here. This world is truly wondrous.
What are you doing with yourself these
For
days?
a time, I returned to Alexandria, but they have no need of another fisherman, and I came to see there is nothing for me there. Instead, I have decided to follow the custom of your youths and backpack the world. It is a great adventure, and I have met many people from many cultures. I spent the first 25 years of my life avoiding the 42 sins that would deny me access to the afterlife. Now, I think it is time I had some fun.
Sounds like you've earned it, man.
Indeed.
It's good to see you again, Kabosh.
Thank you, Oracle.
It's just okay. Are they together?
Nice to meet you.
It's good to see you too, Rufius.
I go by Rufus now. New start, new name. Oh, and thanks, by the way, for what you did. Sorry, I'm no good with the mushy stuff.
What are you doing with yourself these
I
days?
live with Virgil in Rotterdam, not far from where he grew up. It's very modern. Destroyed in the war, and it rebuilt. Good place for a fresh start. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with my life yet. One adjustment at a time.
Turns out you were right. The statues really were watching us.
Good to know. Anyway, it was good practice for the new world. Security cameras and smartphones everywhere. Got to stay vigilant.
You know what? You'll get used to it. It's good to see you again, Rufus.
You too. Look us up next time you're in the Netherlands. We're grateful.
It's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so much about you.
It's good to see you too,
I
Virgil.
wanted to thank you personally for getting us out of there. And for helping Rufus come to terms with himself. He may come off a little gruff, but once you get past that, he's a lovely fellow.
What are you doing with yourself
I'm
these
studying
days?
to be an architect again, and living with Rufus in our beautiful flat in Rotterdam. Just down the river from Nijmegen, where I grew up. Of course, it's improved immensely since I was there last. Gleaming futuristic buildings and clean streets full of educated, accepting people. You natives of the 21st century have no idea how fortunate you are.
It's good to see you again,
You
Virgil.
too. As Rufus said in his own laconic way, if you're ever in the Netherlands, we'd love to show you around. It's the least we could do.
I may just take you up on that.
It's nice to finally put a face to the name. I'm Ulpius.
Good to see you
I
too,
understand I have you to thank for sending Galerius to save my life. The way you just showed up out of the blue and stopped me from making a terrible mistake. I'll be forever in your debt.
What are you doing with yourself these days?
I'm living with Gabriella in Umbria. We finally bought the little vineyard we always dreamed of. It'll be a little while before we know what we're doing, but every day I look at her and this extraordinary new world with all its beauty, and I think, what if I'd given up hope and missed out on all of this? So we're living each day to the fullest. And we end them all the same way, sitting together on our terrace with a glass of our wine, which the locals say is almost drinkable now, and watching the sunset over the rolling hillside. And I couldn't be happier.
I'm glad you're happy, man.
Thank you. I wouldn't be here without you.
Don't. It was good to see you, Ulpius.
You too.
I'm guessing you're Gabriella now.
Hello there.
Hi, Scintilla.
Oh, I go by Gabriella now. I didn't want to be reminded of that monster every time I heard my own name. After you drove Pluto off, Proserpina came and released me, and that monster got what was coming to him.
Sounds like you got what he deserved.
Mhm.
What are you doing with yourself these
I'm
days?
living with Ulpius on a little vineyard in Umbria. It's even more wonderful than I dreamed it would be. I'm so grateful to you for making sure he's still with us. If you're ever passing through the region, I hope you'll come and visit us. You can try some of our very own wine.
I might just do that. It was good to see you again, Gabriella.
Thanks. You too.
Wait. Did they just copy paste? Oh, where am I? That's so sick. I don't know. That was really cool to me.
There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there's one more person I wanted to introduce you to. I think you know her.
What?
Sorry if I frightened you. Just a little joke I've been saving for a long, long time.
Are you... I recognize
Allow
that
me
voice.
to introduce myself properly. I am Proserpina, former goddess of the cycle of life and renewal, and now a regular mortal. I wanted to meet you in person, and thank you for freeing all these people, and me. I hate to think what would have happened to us without your intervention.
You were Rasmussen all along?
Indeed. Suffice it to say that while Pluto was controlling the eyes and ears of each golden statue, I was able to control their tongues and whisper to you when he was distracted. I am sorry my messages were so cryptic. There were only ever brief windows in which I could speak to you without being detected.
You did what you could. Thank you. You created the
I
time
did.
loop?
I may have given up my immortality, but I still retain my gifts as the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. After witnessing Pluto punish countless poor souls over thousands of years, I knew this generation, the final wave, would not survive. So I tried to give them a way to buy more time. A second chance. Rather, as many second chances as they needed to avoid his wrath. So I whispered to Sentius in secret, telling him the prayer required to create a portal in my shrine. I knew the danger of humans being corrupted by godly power, and so I put a safeguard in place. I required the creator of the portal to sacrifice their own life, so that it could only be used selflessly to help others. What I did not anticipate is that Sentius would retain his accumulated memories from each previous day, and as a veteran soldier he had long since shed his fear of death. He quickly discovered that he could, in effect, prolong his own life indefinitely by exploiting the cycle. Of course, once I had taught him the prayer, I could not unteach him, and there was little I could do but wait for someone like you to come along and see him for what he was. We were all fortunate you came along when you did.
So what became of Pluto?
I don't know what happened to him. I haven't heard from him, and I rather hope it stays that way.
What became of
she
Karen?
inherited dominion over the underworld. Last time we spoke, she was working on a new world of some kind. She wouldn't say what it was, but I'd be surprised if you don't run into her again. I imagine we all will, one day.
Well, it was nice to formally meet you.
And you, although it feels like I've known you forever. Oh, and one last thing. Do you remember all those golden statues scattered throughout the city? Good.
Of course.
Because they remember you. Well done, my friend. Of all the heroes who ever journeyed to the underworld and returned, none came close to achieving what you did. Hercules, Orpheus, Theseus, and Aeneas would be proud.
Oh, we got the best ending. And that was actually very satisfying. Oh my god. Do we get to see the end credits? That was just amazing. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the mystery. This was an amazing game. The amazing story. Just and you heard how I reacted seeing those characters. It felt like I knew them. Just and reconnecting with them at the end there and hearing how they adjusted, it was awesome to see and actually see how they developed and adjusted to our time. I didn't realize they get launched to our time, but oh my god, I love it. This game, these developers, just amazing. Oh my god, I'm just gonna let the credits play. And I want to say thank you to everyone that joined me for this journey unraveling all the mysteries here. I know I say the spoiler warning at the beginning every time, but that's because you heard how invested I got in this, wanting to experience, wanting to figure out what's going to happen next. And this is something I say you could experience yourself, try to figure out the mystery yourself. And if you want to, highly recommend it. As you saw, there was 3 other endings we didn't see. We just worked towards getting the best one that we could get here. So I'm gonna have to apologize again. Spoilers for the best ending here. But it was one heck of a journey, and thank you for joining me on it. I really did love the twist. Like I didn't expect the magistrate to be one of the bad guys when he was when we first got introduced to him, and I didn't expect the twist of Malleolus being the one that would if we didn't do anything, he would lead to the golden rule being broken. Or even that, oh my god, Sentius would just be the ultimate bad guy. Like one of the antagonists. Like Pluto wasn't even that bad of a guy. He just had a bet for hoping that he would find the best in people. Like, I was able to understand where everyone was coming from. Every character was coming from. And when you're able to understand Sentius, was like, I get why he would want to prolong his life as much as he can. I understand Pluto, who wants to save his wife, who's holding on to the past, where he just wants his beloved. And me killing her once in a different timeline probably was pretty bad, all things considered. Because I noticed, like, as we had that final discussion with him there, it seemed like he wouldn't budge, and he just held the moral high ground. So I was like, we have to resort to kind of these dirty tactics where we have to kill Prospernia. I wonder if there's going to be more after this. Let's see here. A message from the developers. We hope you enjoy the Forgotten City. We love to make even better games in the future, and you can help out by recommending the Forgotten City to a friend or writing a review. The more people play our games, the more we can level up. If you'd like to be the first to know when we announce a new project, please connect with us. Aw. No way, and I can just click it? Okay, what's their email? You know what, I'll just leave this here. What else do they have here? Is that it? Wow. That was one heck of a gaming experience. Modern Storyteller. Shout out to those guys. This game, the story, the writing, the characters, I was fully invested in it, and you know what? It was awesome. It was just I feel like I can't describe it proper. You have to experience this yourself, and I highly recommend this. Just trying to find those 3 other endings that we didn't get to see. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey for ending number 4. And join me for more adventures and stories that we're going to be jumping into. PT out.